Social media is bigger than ever. So with so many apps and platforms, you might feel like you aren't up to date with what your kids are scrolling. Well, my next guest is rolling out a parent's guide to help you understand the apps your kids might be using. I'm joined by Sarah Kimmel from Family Tech. And let's talk for just a second about this fear parents have. I mean, it is valid. I think sometimes parents get a little out of control, but talk to me about the validity of that fear.
Yeah, and there's even a platform that the Governor Cox has released called Social Media Harms. And so it can be really scary because you see these commercials and it's a lot of fear-based messaging, but there can be a lot of good with social media just as long as you're managing it appropriately.
Yeah, and that's why you're here. You're going to talk to us about the 5 most popular apps and kind of the controls parents can have, and you're going to give us your recommendation on ages on these, which I love.
For sure.
Okay, so let's start with Instagram.
Instagram, yeah. So Instagram has a really great feed, but it has a lot of the same features as a lot of the other platforms. So it has disappearing messages just like Snapchat. It has short form videos just like TikTok. So you got to be aware of these features that they keep bringing into Instagram. You can set up some parental controls that have a little bit of monitoring, but not a ton. So I would recommend around 14 to 15 for Instagram.
14 to 15, yeah, because those controls are very limited, like you said. Yeah. And I think some people feel really safe with Instagram because all the moms are on it, you know. But then again, we just don't have the controls we probably would like.
Yeah, you don't have the controls, and the algorithm is going to be so different for you than it is for your children. So just be aware of the content that you're getting fed isn't necessarily the content that your kids are going to get fed.
Yes, I had the issue because my son was looking up all these workout videos, and then they got more scantily clad and more scantily clad, and I was like, oh! So yes, you need to watch out for those. Okay, and Snapchat is, I think, sometimes the big oogie boogie. Talk to us about Snapchat.
Yeah, so Snapchat's algorithm is terrible. Anytime I open up Snapchat, it's got a feed of stuff that I would never want to look at, and so I'm like, how do you not know who I am yet and know what I would want to see? So the algorithm is going to feed you terrible videos. A lot of kids, though, use Snapchat as a way to communicate with their friends. Streaks is a big problem because it can be really addictive for kids. They want to keep their streaks alive. You know, how many times I've Snapchatted with you means how good our relationship is. And so that's one thing to be aware of is streaks don't define your relationship. I would recommend around age 16 for Snapchat just because kids don't understand that disappearing messages don't necessarily disappear, and so gives them a real sense of false privacy.
Yeah, the other thing with Snapchat is those snap maps, which with my older kids I was like, absolutely not. Take yourself off snap maps. But now my younger son does it, and like we'll be in St. George and he's like, oh, Tom's here or whatever, and I'm like, oh, that is kind of fun. So that's a tough one to know whether or not to have your kids allowed on the maps.
Yeah, and I would just make sure that they're not friending anybody that they don't know in real life.
Right.
Because that's when you get into a lot of problems with the snap map. You know, if I can allow my friends that I actually know to see where I am, that can be fun. But if I'm allowing strangers to see where I am, that can be a problem.
Okay, TikTok, maybe the most popular right now. What do you think?
Well, and actually TikTok is one of my favorites because it has amazing built-in parental controls. You have to have a TikTok account in order to set up these parental controls for your child's TikTok account, but it's really the best parental controls that are built into an app of any social media platform. So it has the ability to lock out who can see your kids' videos, who can message your kid, what kind of content your kid can look at. You can even block out specific keywords or allow them to search or not. So there's a lot of parental controls you can set inside of TikTok to make it so much safer.
Okay, parents just got to do it, right?
Right.
Okay, you also, so you say 13 for TikTok, and you give a similar age for Be Real.
Yeah, Be Real is another one of my favorites, starter social media platform, because there is no algorithm. All you're going to do is post your Be Real, so it sends a notification to everybody in the world at the same time. Everyone posts their Be Real, which takes a forward and a back-facing photo, and then so all the kids, it is going to be distracting during that Be Real posting period, but then they're gonna hop on, they're gonna see all of their friends' pictures, and then they're gonna hop out. There's no algorithm, they're not gonna get sucked in for hours. They're just going to see what their friends are up to and then be done.
Okay, I know a lot of people are, I haven't joined yet, and I'm like, do I need to do one more social media app? But people love it.
I do, and I use it too,
Yeah.
but most of the time I'm just sitting at my desk at home, so I'm not going to post my Be Real. Look, still here at my desk. But I do post occasionally, and you can't see other people's posts until you post. So I really like that aspect too, because it takes them out of that lurker phase where I'm never posting, but I'm just looking at everybody's content. You have to post to see other people's content.
And your last one does concern me a little bit, so I'm interested to hear what you think of Discord.
Yeah, Discord, you can set up some monitoring, especially through tools like Bark. And I would highly recommend, if you're going to let your kid have Discord around 13, that you monitor it very heavily at the beginning. And you can also set up internal parental controls within Discord, where you can see what kind of servers they're joining and who they're interacting with. And as long as you know where they're going and who they're talking to, then you can make it a little more safe. But yeah, Discord is kind of the wild, wild west, and there's no real filtering or anything like that, so predators could access your children and talk to their children. A lot of grooming is happening on Discord.
And so you're saying age 14 or 15 at least?
Yeah, if you do allow it at 13, which is okay, but just make sure you're highly monitoring it. Like, the Discord is on your phone and you're seeing the messages come in and everything like that, so you know exactly what's happening.
All right, thank you for breaking these down. Where can people find more tips from you?
I'm Family Tech on all social media platforms.
Okay, thanks.